Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest edition of the Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Haig, and with me today is a very special guest, a guy who was born in Jersey City, that maybe gets lost in the shuffle a little bit, was born in Jersey City and lived a good part of his youth in Jersey City, but then moved to central New Jersey and then went on to have a great football career at the University of Wisconsin, where he ended up in the NFL, and he played in the NFL for 10 years. And including a good stint with the New York Giants, and played in the Super Bowl as well, and now he's looking to get into the broadcasting world and doing all these different types of things involving with the Giants and all. It's my friend, Jonathan Casillas. Jonathan, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, man. How are you, sir?
I'm doing quite well, and thanks so very much for taking the time to talk to me. You know, it's been a couple months in the work, but we're finally getting it done today, so thank God.
I apologize for the wait, but I bet you it's going to be worth it.
Right? Absolutely, well worth the wait. You know, and especially it's the bad thing that this is strictly an audio podcast, because if we had the video involved, we'd get to see how good looking John is without the helmet on, and he is a good looking guy. So we'd be attracting the women to listen to this if we had a picture or a video involved. But it's strictly audio. The people are gonna have to trust me to say that he's a really good-looking guy, and he is. Trust me. So, but no problem. If you played football without a helmet on, all the women would know. But you had to play with a helmet, so you don't want to get hurt. So anyway, all right. Talk a little bit about you were born in Jersey City, and incredibly, let's do it now and get it over with. You had a very, very famous, I can't say very famous, I don't want to say infamous either, but your father is very well known in the Jersey City circles, and your father's Flash Gordon. And what was that like to grow up with Flash as a dad?
Well, let's Flash is his own celebrity, so let's not diminish that. He's his own celebrity, and ever since I was young, my dad was a part of my earliest memories. He was a part of the 98.7 traveling all-star basketball team, and Isaac Hayes was the coach.
Oh my God, is that true? Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, my earliest memories was we're taking public transportation, and we're taking that bus on Bergen Avenue, going to New York City, going to different games. And, and it'd be like, some celebrities there. And my father would have these pictures, right, of him and, like, the celebrities of the 90s. And I'm talking about big-time celebrities like Michael Jordan, Mariah Carey, Biggie Smalls, like the cast from NYPD Blue.
Okay.
There used to be so many people. And me and my older brother, during the games, while my father was playing, we would go around the crowd and sell these pictures of, my dad and Jordan, my dad and Mariah Carey, and also candy.
Okay.
My dad not only was a basketball player, he was a hustler.
Oh, absolutely.
So he taught me at a young age, how to hustle, and how to go up to people and sell to them, and they always used to be like, yeah, I like Jordan, but who's this guy? I'm like, that's my dad. Look at what over there. And luckily enough, Jim, Flash was actually a really good basketball player.
Oh, without question. And he was our version of the Harlem Globetrotters, because he would be able to. He had his own dribbling routine, and he had his own like fake shots routine, where
trick shots.
Yep, trick shots is what the word I was looking for. Yep.
He'll still try to do them now and impress the kids, and they'll just miss the backboard cleanly.
Yeah, because they're really hard to get up to the rim now once you turn 60. So but when he was in his heyday, he was the king of the trick shot. And then there was one time I used to run the Jersey City Recreation Summer League, 1991 through 1990 through 92. And we played the Summer League up at St. Peter's College. And before the Summer League started, we used to have a celebrity all-star game where the all-stars, the celebrity all-stars from Jersey City, would play the New York Giants. And all of a sudden, as the team is doing, the Jersey City team that we picked in weeks in advance is doing layups as the game is about to start. And who's in the layup line but Flash? And I went like, Flash, what are you doing in the layup line? What are you doing out there? He says, I'm a celebrity. I said, well, who picked you to be on the team? He says, let me stay. And sure enough, after the game is over, what is he doing? He's signing autographs with everybody else. Signing autographs. And everybody's going,
Jim, so, I came home to the Giants. I know we're going to get into that later.
Right.
But when I came home to the Giants, that's my dad's all-time favorite team. And,
sure.
When I, basically came full circle to play for the Giants in my last 3 years, we would take a lot of photos in the family room. My family, fans, fans that are family friends. And whenever somebody was like, hey, you want to get in? My father always says, you can't take a picture without a flash. Everybody keeps dying laughing. 10,000 times, Jim.
Oh my God! That's a great. I never heard that line. When we had that celebrity game, he just all of a sudden came out of nowhere and just started to do the layups with everybody else. And I mean, we had James Finarkel and Michael Corin and all these great Bobby Hurley and all these great basketball players came back and played in this game to raise money for the border babies in the medical center that were born without the parent would abandon them and they were left there with no parents. So we raised the money. All the money that was raised at this basketball game went to the Jersey City border babies. And sure enough, who would be in the layup line but Flash? And I turn around and I go, how is he in the game? How did he get there? Who invited him? And I say, he goes, I'm a celebrity. I said, okay. And he signed, sure enough, he signed the autographs, Flash Gordon, Kiss FM. He would, so he was part of the Kiss FM All-Stars. So, but anyway.
So my father, he took us to the All-Star game. I can't remember what year, but it was when the All-Star weekend was in New York.
That was 1998. 98.
Okay, so 98. So I was like 10, 11 years old, and my dad took us to all the events, and I didn't notice at the time, but when I was there, I thought my dad was a part of everything. He had us, doing all of the kids stuff, and then I met Grant Hill. I met so many different, basketball NBA players. I met Jamie Foxx. It was just so many guys, and I felt like we was in the mix.
And how did he get in?
But look, not till years later, Jim, when I talked to my older sister, who was older than me at the time, who was, a little more aware of what was going on, she was like, Daddy didn't have tickets for all of that. He just finessed it. He just said,
finessed it.
Flash. You don't know who Flash is? And everybody's confused, oh, yeah, of course I know who Flash is. And they just let us in. So I didn't realize that till years later. So now, I'm playing for the Giants or the Patriots or whatever team I'm playing for. My dad will be in places that he's not supposed to be in because he's such a great finesser. He's such a great talker. And he can get his way into a lot of different situations in a lot of different places where people, without the certain credentials can't do.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that forever. So
so now we're blowing his cover. We're blowing his cover. So now everybody else is going to be looking out for Flash, where he's going to end up next. We're blowing his cover. Flash, I'm sorry, I took away your identity, but hell, that's what you get for doing it for 30 years. So you finally had to give it up. So, but anyway, You were born and raised in Jersey City. You grew up on Garfield Avenue. Is that where you grew up at first?
Yeah.
All right.
If I'm not mistaken, Garfield is my first memories.
Okay.
And we moved to Sip Avenue for a half a year. My family actually got robbed on Christmas Day. And this was probably 1995, 6, 7, something like that.
Wow.
I was very young. And then we moved to Tunnelly. And then I lived there for a couple years. Then we moved to Neptune by Covery's Woods. Remember the old Covery's Woods? When
sure.
I was up? So I lived over there for a while. And then I think the last place I lived at, we bounced around, Jim, for my first 12 years of my life.
Right.
We bounced around. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
Sure.
So we ended up, the last place I lived was right by the courthouse. And my basketball court was Hudson Gardens.
Oh, you're kidding? Okay.
So that was my course. I was always in the project, hanging with the kids at Hudson Garden. We was always playing basketball on the courts, all the time. Like you could never catch me without a ball. And then when I finally moved from Jersey City when I was 12 years old to New Brunswick, all of that Jersey City basketball, I took it to New Brunswick.
Okay.
I took all of that stuff that I learned from my father in the playgrounds and the project kids. I took that to New Brunswick, and I became a really good basketball player there.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about, you did play some organized sports in Jersey City, right? Did you not play Pee Wee football or PAL football or something in Jersey City when you were growing up?
So, Jim, I didn't play football until I got to high school.
Oh, really? Okay, so how about basketball? Did you play any basketball?
Of course. Being, in Flash's lineage,
right.
You kind of grow up with a ball.
Right.
I mean, like it's like milk and ball or football and basketball. Like it goes hand in hand. All of the Flash kids play basketball, won't play it a lot.
Right.
Leagues. I know I won a couple championships. We won a championship at Audubon Park. We won a championship at Terry Air Park.
Okay.
And we were all over the place. I probably on every basketball court in Jersey City. If it's not, if it's 20 years or older, I'll probably play basketball for sure.
Okay, all right, good enough. So then, when you were 12 years old, you moved to New Brunswick, and were you a little, at first, when you first moved there, were you a little upset that you were leaving Jersey City and leaving your friends?
Oh, yeah, that's how it goes. My mom was working down at St. Peter's Hospital in New Brunswick, the pediatric clinic, and Jim, she was commuting. She was making the commute from Jersey City to New Brunswick. And at first it was public transportation, then she was able to afford a car. And listen to this, Jim. See, these are things that I don't realize as a kid, but as I got older, I started realizing certain things that my mom was doing because of money, like the lack thereof.
Right.
And my mom took 1 in 9 all the way down to New Brunswick.
Wow.
Because of the toll on the turnpike.
Okay.
And like I said, I didn't realize that until I probably was in high school. And I wondered to myself, once I started navigating myself around Jersey from New Brunswick to Jersey City, with either like my friends or just being more aware of it with my mom, I was like, why is my mom taking 1 in 9 and 1 in 9 takes double the time, as the turnpike? But then I realized like there's tolls on the turnpike. And even though they're like at the time $2 or $3, all of that adds up.
Yeah.
All of that adds up. And my mom being the strong Puerto Rican independent woman she is, she didn't want to hand out. She didn't want to ask nobody for nothing.
Okay.
So she did things to make sure that she had food on our table and she was paying the rent for us.
All right, let's give
our family,
All right, let's give Mom a little credit. What's Mom's full name?
My mom's name is Luz Naomi Casillas.
Luz Naomi Casillas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. And obviously you said she was Puerto Rican, and mostly once you moved to New Brunswick, she raised you alone, correct? Like you would only see your father every so often. He didn't live with you guys, right?
No. Yeah, so my mom remarried twice, I believe. My mom and my father was never married, but she married twice after that. And I have other siblings as well. So my mom raised a lot of 5 kids on her own. And,
wow.
The last 2 we had, my stepfather now, John, he's been around for 25 years.
Okay.
And, he's been great, and he keeps my mom sane, and they have a great relationship, and my mom's very strong, a very proud woman, and now she has her own house in Florida. She teases me every day about the weather. So it's good, man. I'm blessed. She's blessed, man, and we came a long way from Jersey City, that's for sure.
Okay. All right. So now you go to New Brunswick, and you said you were not a football player. You strictly were a basketball player. And I know there was a point where your father was hoping that get you to come back to Jersey City so you could play basketball at St. Anthony's. And was that part of the plan, or were you definitely going to just stay there in New Brunswick and play basketball?
I mean, that was my dad's plans for sure, but
right.
Luz, Naomi, my mom, she ran the show, so
right.
There wasn't no way that I was making that commute or living with my father.
Okay.
But when I took a step back and I look at the situation and where I was living at before we moved to New Brunswick in Jersey City, I would have either went to Dickens or Dickinson or St. Anthony's, and it would have probably been St. Anthony's because I was one of the better basketball players at my age.
Right.
So I would have probably went to St. Anthony's. And if I would have stayed in Jersey City, Jim, this is a fact. I would have never played football.
Right.
I never played football.
It would never happen, right?
Right. The reason why I played football was because when I moved to New Brunswick, all of the kids in New Brunswick, the kids that I ended up being friends with, they all played football.
Okay.
And that's a big transition from Jersey City where everybody's playing basketball.
Okay.
And then I go to New Brunswick, all the popular kids and all the kids I was hanging with, they were all playing football.
Right.
So I begged my mom to play, Jim, and she didn't let me play for the first couple of years.
Is that true? So when did you start playing? Your junior year in high school?
No, so I moved when I was from Jersey City to New Brunswick when I was 12.
Oh, you were 12. Oh, you wanted to play football right away. Yeah.
Right. I went 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and maybe not the 6th, but the 7th and 8th grade, I for sure asked my mom to play football, and she was like, no, you're going to get hurt. And I was like, no, Mommy, I want to play, but, you can't go against Mom's decision. So
right.
Finally, going into my freshman year, when, we're going into high school, and all of my friends are like, they're in training camp, and, I'm like, just like Mom, like all my friends are doing it, And like she said, I don't want you to play because you're going to get hurt. But she finally let me play, allowed me to play, as a freshman. And Jim, she was right.
Yeah.
She was right.
Well, because how big were you? How big were you then, John?
I was getting hurt a lot.
Oh yeah.
My freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
And I was probably 165 pounds. Maybe.
Okay, so that's pretty good size. That's pretty good size for a freshman. Yeah.
I had height on me. I was tall. I was 6 foot.
Okay, that's really good size then for a freshman.
Yeah, I was about 5'11", 6 foot, and I didn't grow too much in high school, meaning like height-wise.
Right.
I think I, finished my high school career at 6'1", but I didn't even break 200 pounds before I left high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you started playing football, first of all, did you have any idea what position you were going to play, considering the fact that you never played before?
Well, back then, this was like 2000, 2001, Jim, and this is my first time really like paying attention to football and what's going on. And of course, I watched the NFL, and my Aunt Mickey, she was a big Cowboys fan.
Okay.
And my father was a big Giants fan.
Yep.
So I was kind of keeping up a little bit with the local sports that was going on, but I started watching college football.
Okay.
And that was the days when Miami was really doing their thing back then. University of Miami, they had
sure.
Shockey and Winslow, and then my future teammate John Vilma and
yep.
DJ Williams and Vince Wilfork, all of those dudes that ended up playing with like 5 or 6 of those dudes, and they're all like good friends of mine now. Antro, all those dudes. But then I started really paying attention to them, and my favorite football team at the time was the Eagles, believe it or not.
Okay.
So I really idolized Terrell Owens.
Oh wow! All right.
So this is before he got to the Eagles, but like he was like Cowboys, and he was Terrell Owens all over the place. But he was a dominant receiver, Jim. You know that.
Yep.
So my favorite players to watch were T.O. and Brian Dawkins. So I wanted to be a receiver, and I wanted to play safety. And my freshman year in high school, I played receiver and corner. And Jim, I was athletic, but I wasn't very good. I remember one game we're playing, I think South Plainfield, and it's a running back going up the sideline, and I'm playing corner, and I try to go up and tackle him, and the dude ran me over, probably stepped on my chest, and scored a touchdown to win the game. So, that was my freshman year, so I could have went one or two ways. I could have put my tail between my legs, or get better, and that's what I did. Me and my good friend Andre Dixon, who went on to play running back for Connecticut,
sure,
we hit the weight room really hard at the freshman year. And I never lifted weights. I was only doing like push-ups and pull-ups and, like a lot of plyometrics and just, stuff that, coaches put you through. But we wasn't lifting weights at, 13, 14 years old.
No.
Until after high school. So then I was able to put on a little bit of weight. And then going into sophomore year, they had me playing JV.
Okay.
My first JV game for the New Brunswick Zebras was, I think it was Cardinal McCarrick or something like that.
Okay, Cardinal McCarrick. That's right. And
it was in they had like a stadium by the water. It was pretty dope.
Yep, South River.
And this is on the JV squad. The first game, I had 5 sacks on JV.
Wow.
You know, so after that, my coach said, "Oh no more JV for you." So they moved me up to varsity.
Okay.
So now I'm on varsity, and I'm on the bench at first, but I'm playing special teams. And you know, now I'm like, dang, I'm hanging with the big dogs. And we had some really good, talented players in New Brunswick in my sophomore year. We had Coach John Quinn.
That's my man.
And we were
good man
that year. So we played South River my sophomore year, right? This was our homecoming game. The year before, they had one of the best running backs in the state, Zach Irving.
Yep.
He was a beast from South River.
Yep.
And South River is the school of Joe Theismann. I know you know, Jim, but I'm trying to let everybody else know.
That's it.
Joe Theismann.
And Drew Pearson.
Right. He was like the legendary guy from South River. So South River was like, you know, a pretty much football program. And the year before, they beat the crap out of us, Jim. I'm talking about bad. My coach, John Quinn, wasn't a part of that team. He took over sophomore year.
Right.
But he saw the film. So he made sure that all the New Brunswick players were ready for that South River game.
Probably watched that film about 15 times.
Right.
Knowing Quinny as well as I do, you guys probably watched that film 15 times.
And Jim, he wasn't even a part of the game.
No.
He wasn't even coaching us.
No.
But he took it personal because South River was beating us by like 35 points or something like that.
Yeah.
The year before, and they had Zach Irving running in his 5th touchdown in the end of the 4th quarter.
Right, and then winning 49-0.
Right.
Yeah.
So Quinny was so mad. Like it wasn't as personal as he taught us that. Like he taught us how to take things personal. You know how to like even get yourself more motivated and inspired. So South River coming in to New Brunswick the following year, my sophomore year, had no chance. And this was my first game starting.
Wow.
This was my first game starting as a sophomore, and I was probably 170 pounds soaking wet, 75 maybe. And this is my first game playing. The guy that was playing in front of me was a junior, and he broke his arm.
All right, so you're playing corner? You're playing corner?
I'm playing linebacker.
Oh, linebacker. There you go. You finally found your spot. Okay.
At like 180, and Quinn moved me there. Reluctantly, I didn't want to go.
Okay.
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to play a linebacker. Like, I want to play DB.
Right.
The sexy position, But my first game against South River, the rival, we're all ready for the game, and it's a big game. We beat them 60-0, and I had 3 sacks.
Wow. Okay.
My first game.
Your first game ever.
That was it for me, Jim.
Yeah.
All that football stuff, all that basketball stuff, that was it.
Did that go right out the window? Did you still play basketball there though too, right?
Not yet, but this was the start of my sophomore year was like the wake up call.
Okay.
Right? Like, oh wow, you could be special in football.
Right.
Because my freshman year, I played freshman football and I played freshman basketball.
Right.
And as we all know, football season comes before basketball season.
Right.
So starting my sophomore year, I went from JV to varsity to having almost 10 sacks as a sophomore on varsity football. But towards the end of the year, Jim, semifinal game, I break my arm.
Oh no, really? Oh man.
So I break my arm. I missed the championship game against who did we play? We lost to Manasquan.
Okay.
We lost in the state championship to Manasquan by 1 point.
At Rutgers, probably, right?
No, because it snowed. So
Oh.
we ended up playing at home, right? We were undefeated.
Okay.
11-1. We lost the championship game. So think about this, Jim. I broke my arm to end the football season. So you know what suffered basketball because I missed basically my entire sophomore season of basketball.
Right.
So I basically played a little bit of JV my sophomore year with basketball, and when I came back, I was a little rusty because I was hurt for a long time.
Right. You didn't play hardly at all.
Before that.
Yeah.
So then it goes into my junior year. So now my junior year, I've been lifting weights. I'm healthy, and I'm going into football season, and I have a tremendous football season. My junior year, and that was kind of like, the writing on the wall. Like, bro, I think you should probably focus on football. But of course, Flash being my father, me being a Jersey City playground kid from birth, I had to play basketball. So I ended up being, Jim, a three-sport athlete. I played basketball all 4 years, played football all 4 years in high school, and I ran track for my last 2 years. And I'll tell you what, man, I enjoyed all of the sports. Track for me was different because it is a team sport, but out of the sports I played, it was the only sport where you have individual success.
Right.
And, towards like my senior year, we had a lot of underclassmen. I'm talking about track season. We had a lot of underclassmen that didn't really qualify for any of the county or state meets. So as the years getting later and later, and the tournaments are coming, the meets are coming, like the state meets are coming. I'm by myself. Like there's no other New Brunswick kids. It's just me and my coach.
Right.
And something about like being like a solo act. I really loved it. I really appreciated it. I ended up placing third overall.
And what you do, the sprints?
I did sprints. I did 100 to 200.
Okay.
But check this, Jim. So during my senior year, because we had such a young team, they would use me for all the events.
Okay.
When I say all the events, my events were, of course, 100 and 200.
Right.
Then I threw the javelin, I threw shot put, I long jump, triple jump, high jump, shot putted.
Wow.
And I ran 1 400, and I almost died. So I never ran again. I was to do everything, guys.
That's it.
And then, fast forward to county, my senior year, it was me and Malcolm Jenkins.
Okay.
In the 200, going against each other. And he ended up winning the battle. But it was the day after I went to Piscataway Prom. So I'm at Piscataway Prom, and Malcolm Jenkins is there, and all the Piscataway guys, and they're all talking crap to me, like, "Oh, we're gonna kick your butt tomorrow at the meet," But Jim, high school was fun, man. I'm sitting here with a smile on my face, and you're bringing back good memories here.
I hear you. And you played football for a legend. Now, when he first, I don't know whether or not New Brunswick was his first head coaching job. He tried so hard to be a head coach all over the place that, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, and he'll definitely agree to it if he ever hears this, but he tried hard to be the head coach at Dickinson. Tried hard. As a matter of fact, he applied for that job, and he tried hard to get it, and they didn't hire him. And I used to say to all the powers that be, I said, wow, you guys really screwed up by not hiring John Quinn to be the head football coach at Dickinson, because who knows what he would have done, because everywhere he's been, from New Brunswick, and now he's at Piscataway, and he's, every year it's 10 wins, 11 years. I mean, a bad year for Quinny is 8-4. He's there every year. It's incredible. And he. That's right. He was an assistant at Roxbury. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And with a guy by the name of Cosmo LaRusso, who's still the head coach at Roxbury. And Cosmo was the head coach at Pequannock in Morris County, and he took the job at Roxbury. And Quinny was up for the Roxbury job, and Cosmo said to Quinny, "Hey, look, I'm sorry I got the job over you, but you know what? You deserve it as much as I do. Would you come here and be my OC?" And Quinny took it and ran with it, and then they had great success at Roxbury, and he made it as an assistant coach, and then from there he went to New Brunswick, and then the rest is history. He's been at a couple places, and now, like I said, he's been at Piscataway for years and years and years, and kid you not, there were people that have thought that he might become and would have been a really good choice to be the head coach at Rutgers. They thought that he was in running to be that.
Wow.
Yeah, and his brother is the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So they've had this good career in that family, but he almost became John almost became the head coach at Rutgers, and I hope he gets to hear this because then he'll say, "Oh my God, Jimmy Hague said that about me on the air, and he's gonna get me in trouble." But no, he came really close. But who knows how life would have changed if Dickinson would have hired him back in the take it back, the mid-'90s. So when you were just about making the move to go to New Brunswick, Quinney was in the running to become the head coach at Dickinson, and he ended up taking the job in New Brunswick, and the rest is history. I mean, he rolled from there. So,
that's right.
Isn't that amazing?
So,
yeah.
Because if he would have went to Dickinson, and what happens if I would have stayed in Jersey City and went to Dickinson High School?
Yeah, no. How about that? You both would have played together. There's a parallel lives.
Right.
Yeah, no. Who knows if you would have had the same amount of success, and who knows if he would have had the same amount of success. But I don't think he was going to get hired at Dickinson because we all know that in Jersey City, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I don't think he had anybody in Jersey City fighting for him. So that's what hurt him. But anyway, all right. So now you have a great junior year in high school, and now that's what puts you on the map a little bit. And then all of a sudden, you start getting college offers, and that must have blown you away. Like you went from being not even somebody who even played the game to now you got big time colleges that are recruiting you. And what was that like?
Yeah. I mean, it was good, man. I was actually getting recruited by Ivy Leagues first. I
Right.
had really good grades.
Because you did have good grades.
I was getting recruited by Ivy Leagues, and I was so excited that I was getting recruited by like Colgate and Brown and Dartmouth and stuff like that. And then the first big Division I school was Duke.
Yeah.
As we know, Duke is a really good academic college.
Right.
So, I didn't really start getting the big dogs of the BCS schools until a little later. But as we all know, I started getting recruited by the Big Ten schools, Rutgers, North Carolina, and all the schools on the Eastern Seaboard, a lot of Big Ten schools. Right.
Okay. So you then continued to have a very good year, your senior year in high school at New Brunswick. You made All-State. When did you make the decision to go to Wisconsin? And was it right away?
Well, right after football season, we're getting ready for basketball season, and I actually tweaked my hamstring. So I tweaked my hamstring, so I'm actually out for basketball. And getting actively recruited by a whole bunch of different schools, I made my first visit to the University of Illinois during basketball season. So I was able to catch the Illinois versus UCLA home game at Illinois.
Oh, okay.
And that blew me away. The Big Ten, all throughout the Big Ten, Illinois, Indiana, the bottom of the Big Ten, even Rutgers now, the Big Ten's the Big Ten, man. It's a great environment. The fans are amazing. The culture is there. So, when I came back to school, I'm blown away, And Champaign is not that's not Chicago.
No, it's not even close. Not even
the
close.
only thing that Champaign is the Illini, So, I've come back to school I went to Champaign and, I had a great time. But then I took my visit to Wisconsin, and that was at the end of football season. Excuse me. How did I do this? Illinois was at the beginning of football season. I'm sorry. Illinois was at the beginning of football season, and Wisconsin was actually at the beginning of basketball season. I'm sorry. I had to
okay.
So I went to Illinois in September, and then I went to Wisconsin in the thick of the winter. To Wisconsin, so many things was going against Wisconsin.
Yeah, one of them was the weather, and two was the temperature.
Right. Bro, the weather was 0 degrees when I got there.
Oh my God.
And it was during finals, so during finals it slows down. Everybody's kind of focusing in.
Oh, so you didn't get any idea what Wisconsin was really like.
Right, but with that being said, when I went on that visit, I just felt like it was the right place for me to be.
Okay.
Barry Alvarez was the head coach at the time.
Right.
Coach Brian White was my recruiting coach.
Okay.
The OC, and it just felt like the place to be. So, I committed committed to University of Wisconsin to play football.
Right.
So, fast forward to the state tournament in basketball my senior year, we're playing the number one team in the county, South Plainfield. They just beat, what's his name? Andrew Bynum and St. Joe's.
St. Joe's and Metuchen. Yep.
Yep. They just beat Andrew Bynum and St. Joe's for the county tournament, right?
Okay.
Now, we lost to this team, South Plainfield, 3 times. They were number one in our county, and they were in our division. So we had to play them in the regular season twice, and I think those 2 games we lost probably a combined total of like 40 points. And then we played them in the county tournament and lost by 2. And then we were the last seed in the state tournament, and they were number 1. So we went into South Plainfield, and while we're playing them, it's back and forth. But we already showed in the county tournament that we can keep up with these dudes.
Okay.
And, and they were good. Marquise Jones was an all-state guard, and Darren Smith was an all-state guard.
Okay.
These dudes were good.
Yep.
I'm talking about, bro, Jim, they were good.
Right.
So we go into South Plainfield, and we're it's fourth quarter, we're going back and forth with these dudes, and they're the number 1 overall. They're the one that projected to win the whole bracket.
Right.
And we went in there, and it's the fourth quarter. We're down by a couple points, and I think I scored like 12 points in the fourth quarter with like a lot of free throws. And while I'm at the line dribbling, the South Plainfield, they got their whole football team in the crowd together.
Yeah.
They're badgering everybody. So
badgering? Oh, that's a bad term.
So they're at the football team's like, this not football. This not football. So I ended up sinking my free throws, and we ended up beating and upsetting the number 1 team, South Plainfield, and we beat them after they beat the crap out of us 3 times during the year. So that's like one of my great claim to fame in high school. And Marquise Jones, one of the guards, he's a good friend of mine still. I've known him for like 20 years. But that's something I kind of give him some crap about. And I actually know Marquise from Jersey City.
You're kidding?
Yeah, me and Marquise, we went to PS 23 school together.
Oh my God, I had no idea that Marquise Jones was from Jersey City. Yeah.
Right, I ended up playing against the guy in high school in football. It was unbelievable.
Wow. And who was the basketball coach at New Brunswick at that time?
At that time, it was Tony DiGiovanni.
Oh, okay.
So he took over for, I can't think of his name. It'll come to me.
All right, it comes back to you. All right, so now you go on the recruiting trip to Madison. It's 0 degrees. There's nobody there because everybody's taking finals. What in the world made you say, you know what, this is where we want to go?
I think it was like the aura, the culture. How they talk about the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. That's how I felt when I got to Wisconsin. It's like, the Wisconsin Badgers led by Barry Alvarez.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a little different than like Illinois, Connecticut, and Kentucky, the other schools that we visited to. It just.
Now, Ron Dane was gone already by then, right?
Yeah, Ron Dane was gone, and they actually had a New Jersey running back. Damn, why am I so terrible? I'm so terrible with names. He's actually a friend of mine. Well, he was from, I think, Elizabeth or Linden. I'm over here, bro. Jim, I'm so terrible with names.
That's all right. All right, so if you look and he keeps come back to you, let's talk about so you were not intimidated by the cold at all? Because, I went to school in Milwaukee. I know what Wisconsin's all about. And I remember saying 2 words that I'd never say ever again in my lifetime after being in Milwaukee for 4 years. And you know what those 2 words were? I'm cold. Those are those words because you have no idea what cold is like until you get to Wisconsin. No, none whatsoever. None.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, none. There was one time I opened up my curtain in my window in my dorm my freshman year, right? and it snowed 20 inches, and it was minus 18 degrees, right? And I closed the curtain. I said, I ain't going out there in that crap. I'm staying right in bed. And then all of a sudden, I started hearing the hustle and the bustle and of all the people like walking outside my dorm room, and I went, "There's class?" And they said, "Yeah, we don't they don't cancel classes here because of snow." I said, "You got to be kidding me!" Right, yeah. So I had to put on my 4 pairs of long johns and traipse across the campus to go to class in the snow and the cold. I'm going, what did I do? What am I doing here? You know, and but I survived. You know, and I guess you did too. You more than survived. You got to play there, and there's nothing like a football Saturday at Camp Randall. Is that correct? I mean, there's nothing like it. You can't compare it to anything in the world.
Nothing like it. And you know, my first Anthony Davis.
There you go. All right, Anthony Davis.
He was a great running back.
Yes, he was. Yep.
But let me real quick. Let me segue into what Johnson does in the state of New Jersey with recruiting.
Right.
As we know, Jonathan Casillas from New Jersey.
Yes. Yeah.
So is Corey Clement from New Jersey. Chris Presley, and so is Ron Dane.
Ron Dane. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wisconsin does a good job in probing New Jersey for some talent.
Yeah.
And for me, I was a 2-star athlete.
Yep.
Like I wasn't even highly recruited. So they did their due diligence and they found some diamonds in the rough.
Well, I'll give you a little inside hint, and maybe you probably knew it because you were there. But Paul Chryst, who is now the head coach at Pittsburgh, okay, he has New Jersey roots, and he was probably at Wisconsin when you were there, because he was in Wisconsin.
He was the OC.
Okay, so Paul Chryst had major New Jersey roots, and he would come here to recruit and hang out with his family, and then hit the pavement and get New Jersey players left and right. And he had, and how do I know that Paul Chryst had New Jersey roots? Is because his aunt Barbara Chryst was the dean of oh God, I can't believe what her title was, but she was a dean of academic studies, I believe, at St. Peter's College when I was the SID there. So that's how I got to know Paul, because he came and visited when I was the SID at St. Peter's, right when you were growing up in Jersey City. But Paul had big New Jersey roots, and that's why you watch. Pitt is going to recruit very well in New Jersey, and they're already in on everybody that's a big time football player in New Jersey. Reason being is because of Paul Chryst. So.
Well, one of my kids from my Forward Progress initiative from New Brunswick just finished with Pittsburgh, and he broke the I don't know if it was like bowl game record or a school record for catches. His name is Maurice French.
Oh my God! Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so he signed as a free agent to Kansas City Chiefs. So that kid has some speed. I think he's gonna fit in perfectly there. And just like me, go under the radar as an undrafted.
Yeah.
From New Brunswick and do big things.
All right.
Watch out for Maurice French. French with 2 F's.
2 F's. That's correct. And he's got incredible hands. Oh God, he's got incredible hands. Yeah.
Really good talent.
Yep. All right. So anyway, you go to Wisconsin, and it took a little while before you got to stand out on the football field, didn't it? Did you had a little bit of a struggle the first couple of years, right?
Well, to be honest, Jim, my freshman year, I was one of the only guys that played as a true freshman, and they recruited 5 linebackers my year. DeAndre Levy, who played a long time in the NFL, O'Brien Schofield, who played in the NFL, and these are all guys that came in with me. Elijah Hodge, who was like a 5-star recruit.
Okay.
And Travis Beckham, who was the #1 recruit in Wisconsin.
Yep.
So all 4 of those guys got recruited at the same time as me. And the only 2 guys out of that group that played our freshman years was myself and DeAndre Levy.
Okay.
We only played special teams. And we played sparingly on defense, not too much.
Yeah, not much.
But my freshman year, I actually blocked the punt against Minnesota, our rival.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really? Okay.
Right. Lawrence Maroney and Gary Russell was the running back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we were at the Metrodome, and they were beating the crap out of us. When I say beating the crap out of us, they had over 400 yards rushing on us, Jim.
Wow.
They were running the ball down our throat, but we kept it competitive. And towards the end of the game, with 38 seconds left, I blocked the punt that they had, and we recovered it in the end zone for us to win the game.
Wow.
When I got back to campus, people didn't even really know my name. They called me number 46. I was wearing number 46. Such a terrible number for a linebacker. But a lot of so I was living in what we call Og Hall. It was a 13-story. It was a 13-story building. It was twin buildings in Wisconsin. And they were the oldest. Like it got knocked down like right after I left. They were like the oldest dorms, but they faced each other. They were like twin towers. And my window faced the other building, and all of the athletes, we used to hang our jerseys in the windows, so you could see by looking up, where's who, who's who.
Okay.
So across, the other building, the other building, they put out a banner against the building that said, "Thank you, number 46."
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
After that, I was like a household name. So, fast forward to my sophomore year, I went to start a job, and I was, number 2, and I had, like 90 tackles, a couple sacks.
You started and played as a sophomore. Okay, I apologize.
I started playing it's all good. I started playing as a sophomore, and my first game was against Bowling Green in Cleveland. And I had, at the Cleveland Brown Stadium, I had 12 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and a sack.
Wow.
My first game I ever played. And a block punt for a touchdown that I scored.
Wow.
I forgot that. Yeah, so that was my first game ever playing as a starter.
Okay. Well, then the rest is history. Yeah, after that, then I got to take you out. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right, so you had an incredible junior year where your name, got on the map, and you were all Big Ten, and that's nothing to sneeze at. You make all Big Ten, there's nothing to sneeze at. That's a great football conference, and they only picked 13 players to be all 10, and then like I think 36 all told between first and second and third team. So you were getting all Big Ten recognition was huge. All right, and then you went on to have both a good junior and senior year. At that point, did you know that you were going to the NFL? And what was your thought process having pro days and going into the draft and the whole 9 yards? Talk a little bit about that.
So Jim, I think I told you this before we was at the gym together.
Yep.
That my senior year was rough for me. It was very rough.
Yep.
A big controversial.
You had a knee problem, right?
Yeah, and it was some of my doing. But I'm just gonna let everybody know now what happened. So going into my senior year, I was the captain my junior year at the University of Wisconsin.
Yep.
Voted by my peers.
Yep.
And going into my senior year, I had got into a couple unfortunate situations. The first one was my knee. I had hurt my knee in training camp.
Yep.
And it was almost a career-ending injury. And I didn't get an MRI. I got misdiagnosed, which I didn't know because I was trusting what the doctor had said.
Right.
And as I'm recovering, we're getting close to the season starting. I actually get pulled over for a DUI.
Oh wow!
In my senior season.
Okay.
So now I'm hurt. I got this DUI, and I did not get voted captain.
Okay.
And this is where the controversy is started because the hurt, you can't really do anything about getting hurt. That's just what it is. I caused that DUI to happen, meaning I'll take full responsibility for that.
Right.
But not being voted captain, Jim, it was it broke my heart, and I understand it now, but at the time I didn't. Especially because all of my teammates said they voted for me.
All your teammates said they voted for you, and
every single dude.
Wow.
Bro, I don't know. Everybody voted. It was like everybody voted for you.
Wow.
There was no one that said that they didn't vote for me. Everybody voted for me. So it had to be something to do with the coaches. It had to. senior year is starting off horribly, Jim. It's not going well. Preseason All-American, first team all Big Ten preseason, and I haven't played, since my junior year.
Right.
We played Tennessee in the Outback Bowl my junior year, and I had like 13 tackles. So
you had a great game.
Rolling, Now senior year started, I can't even really walk. My knees really messed up.
You should have had surgery, right? Correct?
I should have had surgery.
Right away. Yeah.
So now, first month of the season has gone by. The first 3 weeks of the season has gone by. My first game is against Fresno State at Fresno State. Their starting running back is Ryan Matthews, who we all know had a pretty good career in the NFL as a starting running back for the Chargers and for the Eagles.
Yep.
So he breaks a 70-yarder up the sideline, and he's by himself. And knee injury, big knee brace on. I run this guy down from behind. I run him down.
Okay.
And I catch him and I tackle him, right? And then the next play, I tackle him again for a 1-yard loss. His next play after a 70-yard run.
Wow.
So now, Jim, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back at it. My senior year is, starting off right. And then the next game we go to Michigan. Now we're playing at the Big House.
Okay.
I'm having my best game of my career.
Wow.
I got an interception. I got a tackle for loss. I got a big hit. I got another tackle for loss. I got an open field tackle. I'm just all over the field, And I get player of the game. We end up losing to Michigan. It was like a very close game. They came back and beat us. We had them down 19-0. And they showed us on the Big Ten every now and again. It's one of the greatest comebacks, and they did it against us. They ended up beating us. So as my senior year is going on, my knee is getting progressively worse. So I went from, running down Ryan Matthews, to 3 weeks later limping around at practice. And, I had to take, some type of pills, whether it's Aleve or Advil, to actually practice and then play games. So,
right.
This is where the pop of the pills started, when I was in college to treat injuries. And Jim, this is not out of the ordinary.
No.
This is pretty normal.
That's pretty normal.
A lot of guys do this, so I didn't think nothing of it. But what I was doing, I was basically numbing myself and letting my knee get worse and worse and worse. But the Wisconsin doctors are telling me I'm okay.
All right.
So I'm limping around October, and finally I get an MRI. Jim, I didn't even get an MRI.
Unbelievable. All that time.
In October.
Right.
And I'm a 21-year-old kid. I have no idea what an MRI is.
Okay.
So I get an MRI, and my MRI shows I have a torn lateral meniscus and a slightly torn medial meniscus.
Oh, my God.
So rewind to August when I got hurt. They diagnosed me with a sprained MCL. Fast forward to October when I finally got my MRI, I had 2 torn meniscus in my knee.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
So, at this point, I continue to play because Wisconsin said, oh, you'll be fine. This is what the doctors told me. The doctors told me this. Oh, you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about your knee getting any worse because of the brace. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So you say so. Yeah.
Football theory boy. I don't know any better. So I go out there, and my knee is getting progressively worse. So, Jim, I'm not running how I normally run. I can't play the same type of football that I've been playing because my knee's jacked up.
Yep.
So I get ridiculed by my coaches. I get cursed out against Indiana because I missed a couple tackles.
Wow.
Jim, I'm playing my balls off, bro. I'm practicing as hard as I can. I'm playing as hard as I can, and I'm getting ridiculed by my coaches. And they're talking down to me, and they think I'm out. They accuse me of being the one that's disrupting the team. They took that DUI that I had before the season, and they were like allegations of players smoking weed and drinking on Thursdays and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And because of that DUI that I had,
they put you in with them?
Coach Bielema said to me personally, one-on-one conversation, he told me, he said, I know he I know those stories are about you. And nothing.
Well, how did he know? If there's no proof of it, how did he know it was about you?
Nothing could be further from the truth. Look, I'm 32 years old. I won 2 Super Bowls. I made a lot of money in my life. I don't gotta lie about stuff like this.
Right.
I admit that I had the DUI, but because of the DUI, I checked my behavior my senior year. I could not get in trouble no more. So I wasn't smoking. I wasn't doing the drinking on Thursday. I was actually being like a A-class citizen. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm trying to get to the NFL. You know, like, I'm trying to do everything I can to get there because I know I made a big mistake. You know, but I didn't realize what was going on until, like, I took a step back and realized, like, yo, my coaches are, like, thinking I'm some type of guy that I'm not.
Wow.
You know, so my senior year is, like, really funky, man. And now we're finishing the regular season, and we had, like, the worst record in Wisconsin in, like, the last, like, 15 years. And, you know, now we're going to get ready to play Florida State in the bowl game. And our first bowl practice, Jim, I can't even run.
At all.
My knee is so jacked up, I can't even run. So my coach pulled me out. He's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Coach, I've been telling you that my knee's messed up. I told you it hurts." He's like, "Did you go to treatment?" "I've been going to treatment every day, Coach." So now I get my second MRI, right? A month later, my knee, my lateral meniscus is fully torn and flipped over.
Oh, God.
It's flipped. And then my medial meniscus was slightly torn before. Now it's fully torn.
Oh, God.
So now not only do I have...
Well, now you need reconstruction.
I need surgery ASAP.
Right.
Wisconsin still says that I'm okay to play. And they said, you know, play in the bowl game and worry about it after the bowl game. Right? Now my mom's involved. Jim, my mom's a nurse.
Right.
You know, she might not be an orthopedic surgeon, but she's a nurse. And she knows that that's wrong. So what Wisconsin is telling me, the doctors, Dr. Bear, Mike Moe, and all the other guys at Wisconsin, Coach Bielema, all those dudes are telling me that I should play in that bowl game. I owe it to them to play in the bowl game with my knee all messed up.
Wow.
And I can't even run.
Wow.
Right? So now my mom's like, hell no. Absolutely not. My mom flew to Wisconsin, and we walked into Bielema's office, and my mom said, my son is not playing in this game, and we're getting surgery. Not only are you guys not doing the surgery, Jonathan is done here. We're done here.
Okay.
Like, we're done. So, like, you know, it was kind of out of my hands a little bit.
All right.
But it was because of the handling of Wisconsin, how Wisconsin handled it.
Okay.
My health. And Bielema looked at my mom in her face and didn't say anything about protecting me. He just basically told her about the problem that I'm in. He told her about a marijuana test that I failed my junior year, which was supposed to be between me and the coach.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to divulge that information to nobody, but he wanted to, like, you know, belittle my character. And he was like, yeah, Jonathan's been doing this and that and this and that. And my mom, at this point, I've been telling her everything, so she knows he's full of shit. You know, she knows that.
Okay.
So we go on to my mom. We walked out of Bielema's office. My mom had enough of Bielema's mouth. She's like, I ain't about to talk to you no more. You're an asshole. You know, that's what my mom said. We walk out the Bielema meeting. Now we have a meeting with Barry Alvarez, the legendary coach.
Right, but he's now the AD. He's now the AD, right?
He's now the AD, and
yeah.
He sat in my living room. And Jim, my mom asked every single recruiting coach that came to my house when I was living in New Brunswick. They came to my house and sat in my living room on my couch. And my mom asked the most embarrassing question. And the number one question that she asked every coach, she said, what if my kid get hurt? What are you going to do? And Barry Alvarez, with a smile on his face, with his legs crossed, he said, we're going to take care of him. He's one of ours. Fast forward to my senior year, my mom woke up to him, and I totally forgot about that conversation. So now we're in Barry Alvarez's office, and we're talking about me getting surgery, me not getting surgery. So Wisconsin said, oh, you can go get your surgery by another doctor, but we're not going to pay for it.
Right.
So, I mean, my mom's living. She's living. So So she's like, remember 5 years ago, Mr. Alvarez, when you sat in my living room in New Brunswick and you said you were going to take care of my son when he got hurt? And he sat there, he was like you can see that he realized that conversation in his head, and he just kind of was like, he didn't even say anything. He was like, well, my mom was like, well, you're not doing that. And she grabbed me, and we walked out the office, and we left Wisconsin.
Right then there.
I left in the middle of the semester. I couldn't finish my finals.
Wow.
And I had to leave because I had my knee, but I couldn't even walk. Jim.
Wow.
I couldn't even walk. I was messed up. My knee was jacked up. And then I get my surgery. And it's like a scramble, and now, I'm getting ready for the combine, but my knees all jacked up. I got invited to the Senior Bowl. I missed that, so my knees all jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
Now the combine comes around, my knee's still messed up. So the only thing I could do at the combine was the interviews and the bench press. That's it.
Okay.
But while I'm doing these interviews, the coaches are belittling me. Like, I literally had the coaches these NFL coaches, talking down to me like I'm some, knucklehead kid. Like, yes, I made a couple mistakes. Yeah, I did. I got the DUI, and I admitted to it.
Right.
And I got into, some issues. But, don't take away from me as a man and as my character. I worked my balls off for freaking Brett Bielema and the Wisconsin Badgers, right?
Right.
I gave my leg to the Badgers, come on, man. So all of this is fluttering around, and let's fast forward to draft day now, right? Real quick.
Did you have a pro day? You didn't even have a pro day, could you?
I didn't mean to skip that. So the Wisconsin Pro Day comes around, right? And this was 2 weeks after the combine. So if I wasn't ready to run the combine, I wasn't ready to run the pro day.
Okay.
So I get to Wisconsin, and all of our participants, Travis Beckham, he was an All-American tight end. PJ Hill was an All-Big Ten running back. A lot of guys, they're all working out for our pro day. And we got a lot of scouts there, like normal. And there was a couple little things that happened, Jim, where I was like, what's going on, right? So everybody that participated in the combine got these special helmets that the combine gave out to the participants. Wisconsin didn't have my helmet.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So then all of the seniors, we're all back and we're all having a good time in the locker room because we haven't seen each other. This guy's training over here, this guy's training over there. I'm doing PJ Hill. So
did they let you come back, John, because you were left in the middle of at the end of the semester? Did they let you come back to have a pro day or no?
They let me come back, but I still wasn't ready to participate in pro day.
Okay.
I wasn't healthy. But this is where I was like, what's going on? So everybody's getting their jersey. Travis Beckham got his jersey, and DeAndre Levy got his jersey, and PJ Hill got his jersey, and I tried to get my senior year jersey, my jersey that I was bleeding in.
Yep.
Literally, my blood was on that jersey. They told me, they looked me in my face. The head equipment manager said, "Oh, JC, I can't give you your jersey. You got to pay for it." What? What the heck is going on? So I'm all confused. I didn't do pro day. Fast forward to the draft, right? So now the draft comes. I'm a highly projected draft pick.
You were definitely high. I thought you were going to go in the first 3 rounds. That's what we all thought here. We all thought back here. We were watching the draft and thought you were going to go in the first 3 rounds. And I don't know what we still have no idea what happened. But go ahead, tell us.
So, I'm going to let you guys know now. So one of the top 10 linebackers in the country, projected second to 4th or 5th round.
Right.
My counterpart, DeAndre Levy, who was a freshman with me at Wisconsin, we played 4 years together, and we balled out together. Our careers are very similar, but my numbers were higher than his. Number one, because I played a lot more than he did because I was a nickel guy, and he would rush the passer.
Right.
So I was still, and he had more sacks than I did, but I had more total tackles than him. You know what I'm saying? So there was like a give and take, right? But he was projected 4th round to undrafted, and I was projected 2nd to 4th.
Right.
Come draft time, this was when the draft was 2 days. The first day was first and second round, and the second day was third and seventh, right?
All right.
So the third round starts. DeAndre Levy gets drafted
Right away.
by the Detroit Lions. So I'm like, yo, my boy got drafted. I should be going like, right? Like I should be going soon. My boy just got drafted. I should be going next. Jim, I didn't receive my first phone call until the sixth round.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there in my living room. I got 30 people at my house.
Yeah.
We all
Oh, did you really have 30 people at your house waiting?
Yeah,
Wow.
we had a draft party, you know, and I'm sitting there and, you know, I take a, you know, I look at, you know, I'm looking at my phone and I don't have no calls and, you know, my aunt's like, are you sure your phone's on? You know, let me call your phone. I'm like, my phone's on. Like, I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed, dude. I go upstairs and I go upstairs because I couldn't take it no more. And I'm bawling, crying in my room. And my mom comes upstairs, and excuse me, not even my room. I didn't have a room in my mom's house. I'm in my little brother's room. I'm in my little brother's room crying. My mom comes upstairs, and, you know, she consoles me. And she was like, don't worry. She was like, don't worry. Your opportunity will come. But go downstairs. We're all here for you. You know, we're all here because we're going to support you no matter what happens. You know, so I go back downstairs, and, you know, my name didn't get called, and now I'm all emotional. And now the draft's over, and 31 linebackers got drafted. I didn't even know half of them dudes. And so now I get my, you know, I got a couple phone calls from New Orleans and Tampa. But now that the draft is over, all of the teams are calling.
Right.
Because even though, you know, I didn't get drafted, I was a high, you know, supposed to be a high draft pick. But
Yep.
I'm using quotations right now. I had character concerns.
Unbelievable.
During the seventh round or sixth round, I called my agent, and my agent's like, he's like, what's going on? He's like, has anybody called you? And I was like, you know, as a matter of fact, this is the fifth round. This is before I got my first phone call. And I'm like, you know, no, nobody called me. And he was like, well, let me figure out what's going on. So he made like a whole bunch of phone calls, and he called me back like 30 minutes later. And he was like, well, word out. You know, I called a couple scouts and, you know, recruiters, and he was like, the word out is Wisconsin is down talking you and praising Levy, DeAndre Levy.
Wow.
So now I'm like, wow, that makes sense. DeAndre Levy already got drafted.
In the third round. Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, you know, holding, I'm just sitting here, you know. So that was very heartbreaking to hear that, you know. And that's the only thing that made sense to me, you know, because, you know, they do a good job as in recruiters and scouts. They do a good job in doing their background and their due diligence on players. And, you know, if they're calling up the coaches at Wisconsin and they're bad mouthing me, and, you know, they're talking about, you know, my questionable character, you know, it makes sense for me to go undrafted. So to say, Jim, that I had a chip on my shoulder would be a big understatement.
Yeah, I hear you.
Big understatement.
All right, so
I ended up, go ahead.
So now you get undrafted, and the phone must have been ringing then all Sunday night with people that were saying, hey, come here as an undrafted free agent. What made you sign with the Saints?
Well, the Saints called me, I believe, at the sixth round, and they called me at the fifth round, and they had, I think their last pick was a fifth round pick, and Tampa called me, and they had 2 seventh round picks. Tampa did, and no team drafted me. So, you know, Wisconsin called me, and was like, yeah, we're probably gonna get you in the fifth round. So at this point, you know, I'm pissed, Jim. I'm like, you know, these dudes are full of shit.
Yep.
You know, so now that they're calling and they're sitting there saying, like, you know, you got to commit, you know, tell us now that you're coming, because I don't know if this, you know, this opportunity is available to you. Jim, can I curse?
Sure, you already have. Go ahead.
At this point, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, like, you told me you was going to draft me. You did it. Same with Tampa. Like, you know, so, like, I had to calm down. I was very upset. I was heartbroken. Like,
Sure.
This is the first time I was questioning myself as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, now I took a step back and I analyzed both top teams that I had. I had Tampa, who was going to offer me a $40,000 signing bonus, and then the Saints were only offering me a $7,500 signing bonus. But I did my due diligence, and I weighed the opportunities, and I ended up picking the Saints because of Drew Brees, Jonathan Vilma, and all of the leaders that were there in New Orleans at the time. So I picked New Orleans, and as we know, I went there, didn't get the $30,000, signing bonus.
Okay. You only got $7,500.
Right. Which didn't cover even my training.
Hell, that didn't even cover your pre-draft party,
Right. Ended up working out. I made the team. Fought so hard to make that team. Nobody gave me a shot. Not even John Vilma. And Vilma, the guy I was talking to, because he was underneath the same agency as me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Took me underneath his wing, and he told me after I made the team, he was like, "Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. You had number 62. That's what they gave me. They gave number 62.
Number 62 for a linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
There must have been another 62 that was on the 90-man roster. There must have been two number 62s, were there?
Well, it was another 52. At that time, we had a strong linebacking crew, and in training camp there's 11 linebackers.
Right.
So I was the last linebacker on that damn roster, and Vilma told me, later on, he said, "I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think you were gonna make the team."
Wow.
He was like, you showed up hurt on one leg, because I still couldn't run when I got to the Saints.
You still couldn't run. Wow.
I had an impromptu pro day at Parisi in the Bergen.
Yep.
In Jersey, and I could barely run a 40. I ran 4.6, I believe, which Jim, I broke the record. The 40-yard dash at Wisconsin, I broke the record. I ran 4.3. I ran 4.3 at Wisconsin. I never ran anything over a 4.4 in Wisconsin. So I ran a 4.6. My broad jump, my high jump at Wisconsin, my vertical jump, I broke the linebacker record at 39 inches. I high jumped to 34. Vertical jumped to 34.
Wow.
So I was still hurt, but I had to show them.
But you already had the surgery though, right?
Yeah, I had the surgery.
Yeah.
But I had to show the scouts that I can function. It wasn't a good showing at the pro day, but I had to show them that my knee is at least okay to do a performance.
Right.
So it wasn't a good performance, but that was what my agent told me to do. So I did show up hurt, and I was in PT when I got to New Orleans. So I wasn't even participating in any of the rookie camps or anything. So Vilma was like, "Bro, there was no chance for you to make the squad."
Wow.
He was like, "But then we all realized that number one, you're not a dummy." That's what he said. He said, "You're not a dummy." He said, "Number two, you can run." He said, "Number three, you're fearless, bro." He was like, "You're fearless. You would hit anything." So he was like, we had a lot of respect for you as a rookie, and I played the entire rookie year. I think I missed the first 2 games being inactive, but I was never on practice squad. And after my 9 years, Jim, I've never been cut, and I've never been released.
Yeah.
Never. Yep.
All right. So, talk a little bit about your career in New Orleans and what was that like, and eventually going all the way and playing in the Super Bowl. But what was that like to be able to play for the Saints and play on a regular basis in a town where they don't just adore the Saints, they idolize the Saints.
They idolize. That's a great word to use, man. And I didn't realize. Wisconsin was a great culture. Do not get it twisted. It was a great culture, but Wisconsin was a little bit different. It's like embedded into the soul of the state, of the land. The Florida League and the Saints and Drew Brees, Tom Benson, they're embedded into the soul of Louisiana. Like, I swear, it's unreal, man. This is the only team I played for where you would lose a game and then you'll go out in public and people would give you stuff because you lost.
Right.
Go ahead and lose a game for the Giants. Go ahead and lose to the
and live there, they'll cut your head off.
And think you're going to go out and have a good time that night.
No way.
They're going to kill you if you're good. But with New Orleans, man, they embraced us. And, it helps that we went 13-0 to start the season my rookie year.
Oh, is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, we went 13-0. We're number 1 team 2 was right behind us, was the Brett Favre and Adrian Peterson Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
They were number 2 behind us. So we're both NFC teams, and I happened to play with Malcolm Jenkins, who I've known since I was 15.
Right.
He was the first round draft pick, and I'm the undrafted guy. Both guys from New Jersey, both the only rookies playing on defense.
Right.
So
There was only a big difference. There was only a big difference between you and Malcolm Jenkins. It was called about 6 inches and about 300 pounds. That was the big difference between you and Malcolm Jenkins, right? I'm only kidding.
I had to sit there and think about it for a second.
Yeah.
But the difference between Malcolm Jenkins was 0.
Yep.
He was the first round draft pick.
Right.
He was the first round draft pick. That's signing bonus for a first round draft pick in the National world. But needless to say, me and Malcolm were good friends. We battled against each other after that. He was on the Eagles, I was on the Giants. So we've made our amends, and playing for the Saints. My rookie year, it was such a magical season. Playing with the likes of Vilma and Harper and Drew Brees and Jeremy Shockey.
Wow.
Bushrod, Carl Nix. And, so many guys. Well, Marcus Costa, Lance Moore. Just so many, just great names, man. And I miss all those dudes, man.
And playing for Peyton and playing for Greg Williams. That the two of them must have been unbelievable to play for, right?
Yeah. And Greg Williams, before all the bounty stuff, I was his rookie.
Yep.
Me and Malcolm was, his rookie. He verbally abused us, which was, at the time, it was for me what I needed. He made that my Jersey City thick skin that I had from when I was a kid. Made it even thicker.
Yep.
So it wasn't no harming me after I left New Orleans, man. I could do anything, So
yep.
I embodied that experience, and being able to play 4 years there, and leaving as a major contributor.
What was that like to be able to go to the Super Bowl in your first year?
Man, it was unbelievable, and then to be able to make the play. The historical play, the onside kick,
yep.
Being able to recover that, cements my name and my legacy in the Saints family forever.
Forever.
It's unreal, man. And we just had our 10-year reunion this year, and it felt like I was a rookie all over again, man. Like just that.
10 years since that happened. That is unbelievable. It seems like it was yesterday. It seems like it was absolutely yesterday. Wow.
It was a great ride in New Orleans. The bounty gate put a
little damper on it. Yeah, but all right. But what was it like? Like, say, for instance, to be in New Orleans and to go to all those different restaurants that you had in New Orleans. And what was your favorite restaurant that you had?
So people probably gonna say like Brennan's or Emerald's or like Drago's or like those top 5-star, 4-star, all those big restaurants that all the like celebrities go to.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. But my favorite restaurant by far was Copeland's.
Copeland's? Where was that?
They had several of them. There was like a chain down there.
Okay.
The different places that I lived at in Louisiana, they had Copeland's next to each place I lived in.
Okay.
So I would eat Copeland's on a weekly basis.
Wow.
They had like this. They would have this redfish. They had these hot crab claws with like in this etouffee. They had this crawfish bread. Bro, I would order.
Oh, so you became Cajun like right away. You just like instantaneous. A guy with a Puerto Rican and black background, you became Cajun like instantaneous, right? No problem moving in.
I never enjoyed seafood until I got to Louisiana.
Of course.
I've ate it, but I would never order it.
No.
Before that, but now when I go to Louisiana, I'm always ordering seafood. Like that's what you order when you're in Louisiana.
Sure.
Whether you do it fried or grilled, whatever.
Dude, Commander's Palace. I know it. I know you may say that that's a tourist trap. Commander's Palace. Wow. A dish called egg sawdew. I could sit there and eat that all day long. I know I'd have a heart attack because it's all egg, but egg saw-do at Commander's Palace. Wow. And then there's a restaurant that's down near the heart of the town. Is a place called Mr. B's Cafe. Oh boy. Right across the street from the Monteleone Hotel. Right, oh boy. That was a great place.
Jim, I see you.
There you go.
You know you're a little New Orleans.
Oh, I love New Orleans. New Orleans is my favorite city in the country, by far. I know people in Jersey City are going to get mad at me because I'm dissing Jersey City. New Orleans is my favorite city in the country, by far. I like Baltimore too, but New Orleans I like better. All right, so anyway, you spend...
Like food, Jim. Your ass like food.
Yeah, I did, but I did before I had the surgery. Now I like soup. It's a big difference. So, all right. So, anyways, you spent 4 years in New Orleans, and what made you sign free agent and go to New England?
Well, before New England, Jim, I actually signed as a free agent with Tampa.
Oh, you did?
So,
wow, that gets lost in the shuffle. How'd that happen?
Right. So, you know what happened? Greg Schiano happened.
Oh boy!
Greg Schiano was the coach of Tampa Bay, and right when I hit free agency, he brought me into Tampa, and Greg recruited me, out of high school, but I never got offered to go to Rutgers, which baffles me. Rutgers is in New Brunswick. That was so weird, but I never got offered, so of course I needed to consider going to Rutgers because I didn't get offered. How could I go to Rutgers? So fast forward, 7 years later, now he brings me in his team, and so he's like, I missed you once, I'm not going to miss you again.
All right. So how many year contract did he give you?
1 year tender.
All right.
I signed a 1 year deal with him with Tampa, and then I re-signed with Tampa for another year when Lovie Smith took over.
Okay.
So Lovie Smith came over. Leslie Frazier was the defensive coordinator.
There you go. All right.
And
I didn't know you spent 2 years at Tampa. Isn't that funny? I didn't know.
I spent a year and a half at Tampa. Oh, trust me, Jim. This gets lost in the shuffle all the time.
Okay.
All the time. So halfway through my second year at Tampa, we're really bad. We're 0-7, and we're playing against New Orleans actually.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're playing against New Orleans. I'm running down on kickoff, and I get pulled, and I pull my hamstring. So now I'm out for like a week. We have a bye week. I go up to Lovie Smith. I asked him. I said, "Hey, Lovie, what's your plans for me after the bye week?" Excuse me. He was like, "Well, we're playing Baltimore, and I expect you to be playing them. We're playing you against Baltimore." All right, cool. So at this point in my career, I was a starter / reserve, but a high special teams guy. Playing a lot of special teams and doing very well in special teams. So, come Baltimore week, I look at the depth chart. I'm not on any of the depth charts. I'm not on any special teams depth chart. What's going on? So then I asked Lovie again, man to man, no one else around again, and he looks at me in my face and said, "JC, we didn't have any plans to play you this week. Those hamstrings can be tricky." And I look at him like, motherfucker, what the hell? So now I go to my agent like, bro, they're not playing me. I'm on the worst team in the league, and I can't even play. What? Get me out of here. I was like, get me out of here. I don't want to be here. I've been going back and forth with my linebacker coach. My linebacker coach stopped coaching me. He just stopped coaching me.
Okay.
I guess he didn't like me, like as a person, so he just stopped coaching me. I'm not going to say his name.
No.
He just stopped coaching me. Right. He stopped coaching me, and I was just out there, playing football. And we go against Baltimore. I'm not playing. I'm inactive. I'm pissed because I'm not playing. And I'm sitting there. I watch Joe Flacco throw 4 touchdown passes in the first quarter.
In the first quarter?
In the first quarter at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
Oh my God!
I'm sitting there on the sideline like, oh, I ain't about to be here. I'm up here. So then the trade deadline was coming up, and I talked to my agent. My agent's like, bro, New England, Bill Belichick,
Okay.
Believe it or not, Jim, I was apprehensive. I was like, whoa, like the Patriots linebackers are like 260.
Yeah.
225 pounds. Like, how do I fit on that roster? And my agent's like, well, Bill Belichick wants you, dope. In the middle of the season, you better take your butt to Foxborough.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. Yeah, I shook it off, shook it off my head. So I go from the worst team in the league, playing, in front of a half stadium, 80-degree weather. I love my house in Florida. I'm not gonna lie about that. I love my house in Tampa.
Okay.
Going to New England, who is the number 1 or 2 team in the league, playing against Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos Sunday Night Football.
Okay.
30 degrees.
Yeah, but 30 degrees for you is still balmy considering what you put up in Wisconsin.
At this point, I've been living in Florida for a year and a half and New Orleans for 4 years.
Oh, that's true. Okay. All right.
I'm soft when it comes to cold weather. I don't own a coat. My coats are in my mom's house in New Brunswick.
All right.
So I get to New England and I just got sweatshirts. I'm just layering up, and that ain't enough. So I get to New England, and I play my first game against Denver Broncos Sunday Night Football, game of the week. Ain't no game of the week in Tampa.
No.
Now Tom Brady's there, but it wasn't no game of the week in Tampa when I was there. Nobody was watching Tampa. They was blacking out our games down there. It was bad. So I go to New England. We got, Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady, Sunday Night Football. In my first game, I only played special teams. I had 4 tackles on special teams.
Wow.
4 tackles. So after that, I'm good. And it's funny, and you'll appreciate this. So, New England, it's not even like a rival for New York. It's a hatred.
Oh God, they hate.
Has a hatred. For all New York.
The whole town. Yep.
The
Yankees, the Mets, the
Giants, the Jets, the Mets. I mean, a hatred. So you know me, Jersey guy. My first interview with New England, I got my Yankee hat on. Proudly wearing my Yankee hat. All the media is coming up to me, Casillas, how's it feel to be a Patriot, blah, 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 blah. How's it feel to be on this team going from words to first, blah, 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 all that good stuff. I'm doing my thing, speaking how I speak. I look over Twitter, New England fans are killing me.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, yeah, bro. Cool story. Take off that hat. Go back to New England. Go back to New Jersey. Go back to New York. Take that damn hat off. It was like, I can't follow you. Unfollow. Take the hat off. Boo Yankees. Killing. So you know what I did after that? Because I guess it's the Jersey in me. I wore a Yankee hat every day. Every day. And I had other hats. I had New England hats. I had Tampa hats. I had all kind of hats. I wore my blue Yankee hat every day to work in New England.
But you had a good run with Patriots, right? You stayed there for what, 2.5 years?
No. So I was 4. I did 4 in New Orleans, a year and a half in Tampa, and I only did a half a year. My 2014 season was split from Tampa and New England. Okay,
and then you go to New England and you go to the Super Bowl there?
Yeah, after we win the Super Bowl, I get my second ring, and literally right after the season, because when you win a Super Bowl, that's February.
Yeah.
Free agency is in March.
Let's take advantage of it. Yeah.
Only celebrating for a month, and I say only. Jim, I was out every day. Jim, I was hanging out. I was, celebrating. I'm a world champ 2 times over. I'm celebrating. So fast forward to March 2015. My defensive coordinator for my last year in New Orleans, Spagnuolo,
right?
Steve Spagnuolo, is the defensive coordinator for the Giants.
Right.
So now they gave me an opportunity to play home.
Okay.
Play in my home, in my home on my home field, and I jumped on it right away. And I signed with New York in 2015, and I played 3 years there, 15, 16, and 17, and I retired as a Giant, man, and I'm one of the legends and alumni, and I continue to do a lot of work for them in the communities, and I did their Play 60 stuff last year in Fort Lee, New Jersey. So I'm kind of like an ambassador still and a legend for them.
All right. Well, just overall, what was it like to play for the Giants? Play for your hometown.
Great, Jim. Oh man, it was great, man. And, people was like, oh, it was, it had to be tough with tickets, and it was, but for me, it was a joy.
Right.
It was a joy, picking which 15 people because of the game.
Okay.
Because I love that support, man. I've been playing away from my family for years.
Right.
Wisconsin and New Orleans and Tampa and New England. And, now I'm home and now my family get to come to my games. My daughter could come to my games.
Right.
Now, it was such a great experience playing at home, man. And, being able to have the success that I had in my career and then finishing, with the hometown team. One
year you got to play with Robert Ayers, who is also from Jersey City. And how wild was it that you got a chance to be a teammate with Ayers, bouncing around all over the place, and lo and behold, you find out that the two of you grew up together in the Jersey City area.
It's so crazy because we're at the family camp during training camp, and our families are together. And my dad knows his dad.
Okay.
And our dad go way back. And my dad's like, yeah, I used to coach you and Rob back on the rec league back in the day. And me and Rob became very close since then. So my daughter knows his daughter and his wife Robin. So we've been remained close. He actually went to Tampa, signed a nice deal down there. And remember, Jim, I said I love my house in Tampa?
Yep.
He bought himself a house in Tampa.
Oh, really? Okay.
I also bought my mom's house in Tampa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When you go to Tampa, bro, you don't come back.
Right.
You go to Tampa, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You leave 30 degrees in New Jersey, that nasty snowing and rain, sleet weather where you shoveling and you slipping on the ice and slipping all over the roads, and you go to Tampa and it's beautiful sunshine, 78 degrees, and a little bit of rain here, but like you can wear shorts every day. You don't even own a coat. You're not going back to New Jersey.
Right. All right, but all in all, your 3 years with the Giants, even though it wasn't too successful in terms of wins and losses, you love playing for the Giants, all right?
I loved it. And the 1 year that we went to the playoffs, that was my best year. Yeah.
Oh, you had a great year. 2015, right?
Was the captain of the hometown team.
2016.
2016.
Okay.
And it was a good year, man. And young Landon Collins, young OBJ, Snacks Harrison. We had a great linebacker. Man, it was just so many memories. All those guys are still my good friends to this day. Football has given me a lot. Giving me my life that I have, my lifestyle.
Okay.
It's afforded me so many different things, and I'm so thankful for it. And all the bumps and bruises, and the acquired CTE that I have.
You've been diagnosed already. You know it.
No, I mean you can't be diagnosed till after
after you're dead.
Post-mortem, but
yeah.
The science shows that 99.9% of the athletes that play football have it.
Yeah.
So,
well, do you have the symptoms? Do you have headaches, short memory loss, those types of things?
I don't have headaches, but my memory is worse than it ever was.
Wow.
And there's some things just like my temper. I've been controlling it a lot more, and to be honest, being a medical marijuana patient helps.
Okay.
So I'm good. My life is good. I'm very blessed, Jim.
Okay.
You know me, Jim. I work hard. You see me in that gym. I go hard. Jim.
You still look like you could play right away. Was it hard at all, John, after the 2017 season to just say, okay, I'm done, or were you hoping to get a contract from somebody? You were still thinking about getting a contract?
I definitely was, So after the second season, when I knew that, the new coaching regime was coming into the New York Giants, and they were bringing a whole new defense that I really didn't get into. I really wasn't on their radar, but I still wanted to play football.
Okay.
But my mind was different, and I never had these feelings that I had when I was training. I was training to play in 2018, and while I was training, I had tweaked my knee, and just like nothing too significant, but I almost fell into a state of depression.
Wow.
Because my mind was like, "What are you doing?" Like you said, this is me talking to myself. My mind's like, "Bro, you said you were gonna stop after you had another serious injury.
Okay.
You hurt your neck," and this is me talking to myself. In 2017. I hurt my neck.
Yeah, you got a stinger. They called it a stinger, but it was worse than that, though, wasn't it?
It was a really bad stinger that I ended up shitting some disc in my neck, and it really affected my play. And I actually came back.
Yeah, no, you came back from we thought you were going on the IR, and lo and behold, there you were. You were back.
For 2 games, I played, and after Washington game. When we're on our way back to New Jersey, I couldn't even turn my neck. Not a stiff neck, Jim. Everybody's had a stiff neck.
Sure.
I couldn't turn my head at all. And that was scary for me, right? Next day, Jim, I swear, bro, this is so crazy to me. It was either that night or the next day. Ryan Shazier from this Pittsburgh.
Oh, God, yeah.
Paralyzes himself on national television.
Yep.
And bro, my arm hairs are staring up, and I got goosebumps all over my body.
Oh God.
Because it was such a haunting picture. The next day, I went into the Giants, and I said to Ronnie Barnes, the head trainer.
Yep.
I said, Ronnie, I just saw one of my friends, because I was training with Shazier in Arizona. Young kid. Remind me of myself.
Yeah.
Speed guy.
Yep.
All over the field, can play any position. I saw this kid just paralyze himself on national television. I told Ronnie Barnes, I said, Ronnie, I can't move my neck, Ronnie. I just saw a kid paralyze himself. I can't play this year, Ronnie, and I'm considering retiring. I said, my mind, I'm scared. I told him, I'm scared, bro. There's no way I can play this year. And I said, and I don't even know if I can play in the future. So that was my thought in 17.
Okay.
Now, go to 18. I sat and thought. I'm thinking, like, bro, you have these reflections. When you're going across, Jim, everybody knows. Everybody that's been through, life-changing, drastic decisions, you have a conversation with yourself.
Yep.
With nobody else around, you get input from other people. Yeah, of course. You're people that you love and you care about. And people that have been through stuff like that before. You get their input, but you don't have those people around when you're making those decisions, right?
Yep.
You have that conversation with yourself. And I had this conversation with myself going to 2018.
Okay.
Can you do it? Can you put up with the treatment? Can you put up with the injuries for one more year? Because that would have had me 10 years playing in the NFL. I already did 9.
Okay.
And I told myself, I said, yes. I said, yeah, you can do it because you're a tough-ass motherfucker from Jersey City. You can do it. You can do it. So as I started training in 2018, I'm in great shape. I'm fast. I feel like I'm healthy. And then I think I overworked myself one day and I tweaked my knee. But my mind didn't think the same way anymore, Jim. Instead of like, oh, you'll be back. You'll get your knee right. What do you have to do to get back? My mind was telling myself, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you trying to... So I kind of fell into like a little bit of a depression. And my knee got worse to the point where I felt like I had to get surgery.
Oh wow! Okay. Was it the same knee or the same knee or the different knee? The other knee.
It was actually the same knee.
Oh, then you can't risk it. You can't risk it.
So now, I got an X-ray and nothing structurally wrong. I got an MRI and it's showing me nothing's wrong. It's just everything's intact. So now,
but it could be arthritis, could be tendonitis, it could have been anything.
It was all because of the old surgery.
Yeah.
Then I did some Eastern medicine, the Japanese acupuncture, right?
Yeah.
And they're all about the organs and relating injuries to certain parts of emotion that you have.
Yep.
And it was so crazy that while they were figuring out what was going on with me, he was asking me. He was like, "Are you super stressed right now?" It was like, "Or do you feel like you might be a little depressed?" Like all of the feelings that I felt, they asked me about.
Wow.
And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "You have like dark blood in your knee."
Oh, jeez.
Right. It's like that blood is from you. He was like, "You're pushing that blood into your knee because of your emotions and all of your different parts of your body carrying this energy throughout your body,
right.
And it's focusing and manifesting in your knee."
All right. So
bro, I swear, like a month later, my knee was perfectly fine.
Really? Okay. But then you knew you couldn't do it anymore. That's all. Right?
And I still was going back and forth, but then I had a conversation with at the time my 6-year-old, and I'm training again. I'm starting to really get back into the flow of training to play my 10th year, and I had a conversation with my daughter, and at this point it's like I'll play for the Jets because I'm close to home.
Right.
I'll play for Philly because I'm close to home and I get to play the Giants twice. Or I'll play for New England again, which I actually had another visit to.
Okay.
Because I could, my family, I can get back to my family and my daughter, blah, blah, blah. I had a conversation with my 6-year-old daughter, and I said, "Hey, Jane, Daddy's, gonna play football again. How do you feel about Daddy playing?" She's like, "Well, I really enjoy, that you're not playing because I get to see you and we spend all this time together and we have so much fun. But when you're playing football, I never see you, Daddy."
Oh, wow.
And when she said that, I'm done.
Done. That's it.
I said,
I'm done.
That's it.
Okay.
Because the reason why I'm playing is for my daughter, but she could care less if I'm playing.
Right.
So it's like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're questioning your health and you have all these questions which you never had before. So the writing was on the wall, and I happily retired after that. I was happily able to shut it down, and now my health is good. I still got to deal with things and, deal with the mental stuff that I have, but I'm good, man. I'm very functional. My brain works fine. Like I'm good. I just, I'm dealing with everything I got to deal with just like every other retired NFL player.
That's it. All right, well, talk about a little bit first before you talk about what you're going to do with the rest of your life. Talk a little bit about your charity and how proud are you with your charity and your charity work that you do in New Brunswick.
Oh, man. So let me tell you something. So we're going on our 7th year for the Forward Progress Camp. And this is a one-day camp in New Brunswick. We bring kids. We bus kids in from Jersey City.
And when is the camp? When is the camp?
Well, this year we had to cancel it.
Oh, okay.
The COVID situation, of course. But I'm going to tell you the structure of the camp, which makes So the structure of the camp is we have 8 life skills courses in the morning, and the kids come in, and we learn about all kind of different things. We had Jonathan Casillas, Super Bowl champion, CBS host. He conducted our public speaking course.
Okay.
We had David Tyree come in.
What a motivational speaker he is. Wow. He
instructed our Dreaming Big course.
Okay.
We had numerous number of professionals that instructed different courses, which we encourage and award kids for taking notes.
Okay.
And being good students. So that's the morning. And then in the afternoon, of course, we got our whole full-fledged football camp. Landon Collins has been a coach. Olivier Byrne has been a coach. Quincy Newswood has been a coach. John Vilma is like a resident coach participant. David Tyree, like Lance Catcher, we had a whole bunch of guys who participated, and we bring in kids from Jersey City, and we did 6 years of that. And we partnered with the Giants and partnered with different organizations because it was such a good program, and the kids get so much out of it. And there's nothing like at the end of the day, at the end of a Forward Progress camp, that feeling of accomplishment and devotion to your community. Like there was no event like it. Everybody that's involved gets a full, just a full-fledged kick out of it. And Jim, we have adapted to the new day and age COVID situation, and we actually just went virtual yesterday.
Wow!
So yesterday we did our first class. Was our first, we call it the Forward Progress Camp Student Leadership Summit.
Okay.
So yesterday we did our first cohort, which was time management. So we took select students from New Brunswick, because I had the athletic director grab kids from the different sports. Because you got to think, Jim, the people that are hurting worse right now are the kids. Yeah,
absolutely. They getting everything. Their entire lives have been turned upside down. Turn lives.
These seniors that can't finish their senior their senior sports season, that aren't graduating how they're supposed to graduate, that aren't prom, and they can't say bye to their friends, and being away from their teachers, like all of that. Being away from their coaches, not having their coaches there. So this was, Forward Progress's opportunity to create that atmosphere for them. So we selected top athletes in the different sports throughout New Brunswick to be a part of this call yesterday. And we had over 20 kids, and it was myself and Lori Vajovic who helped create the Forward Progress Camp.
Okay.
And we basically did like a Q&A with myself and her, like she asking me questions about my time management.
Wow.
And my ability to delegate priorities. When I was in high school, when I was in college, when I was in the NFL, and now.
Okay.
So the kids, that may think that they're all alone or nobody else is going through what they're going through, I let them know, like, hey, when I moved to New Brunswick, and my mom was working 2 jobs. She was a nurse, supporting 5 kids, and she was working the newspaper route.
Wow.
Guess who had to work the newspaper route with her?
You did.
We were doing the Star Ledger, bro.
Wow.
I had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning before school.
Wow.
Go throw papers to my neighborhood in New Brunswick, and then go to school, and then go to study hall, and then go lift weights, and then go to practice, and then go home and then do it all again. And then then take care of my siblings.
Yeah.
When my mom got home from work, make sure they ate. Like, you guys aren't the only ones that's doing these things. So we gave them a chance to not only be, have a talk and a conversation with, myself, a Super Bowl champion, a New Brunswick native, a New Brunswick graduate, a college, I didn't graduate college, but somebody that went to a 4-year university,
right,
that played in the league, but also somebody that experienced similar experience to them. Some of these kids are working jobs. Some of these kids are taking care of siblings. Some of these kids, these young boys, are the man of the house.
Without question.
So we let them know, like, hey guys, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be struggling right now, but as long as you're doing it the right way, being time management, being one of the main things that can help you get through these different things that you have to do in life. And after this whole COVID situation is done, you can be better and not worse from it.
Okay, absolutely. That sounds like a great plan. So is there a website that people can go to for information?
So I'm literally finishing my forwardprogress.com website.
Forward Progress. Forwardprogress.com.
Sorry. Forward Progress Camp.
Forwardprogresscamp.com. Okay.
And I'm literally in the midst of finishing it. It should be done today, tomorrow, this weekend. And then I'll have content from the summit that we just did, the cohort that we did yesterday.
Beautiful.
And all the information on there and how to get involved, all of that stuff will be on there. But as of right now, they can follow my Instagram page, which is at Forward Progress Camp, and then also Jade_52, which is my personal Instagram.
Okay. All right. And then the last thing for me is, what are you hoping to get involved with as you move forward in your life? I mean, you're only 32 years old. You got your entire life is ahead of you. So, what are some of the things that you hope to get involved with as you move forward?
Well, number one, my Forward Progress Initiative. I'm all about legacy and cementing my legacy and leaving people better than I found them. And I feel like I have that type of effect, and I don't want that to go unseen. And I want to be able to have an impact and encourage kids and provide hope for kids in similar situations that I grew up in. So my Forward Progress Initiative, during this virtual time is being expanded.
Okay.
And as we start to get back to normal, civilization, a whole bunch of other events. And I've already done one, which was my Read Across America Empowerment Through Literacy Tour, where I go to Jersey City, New Brunswick, and I read to the younger kids Dr. Seuss books and talk about the importance of reading and the importance of education and the importance of respect and priorities to younger kids.
Okay.
So we have the camp for the older kids, and now the reading event is more for the younger kids. And I've actually last year I spoke to every single kid in the New Brunswick district. Every single kid, K through 8, either heard me read or they heard me speak to them. And this year I did another amount of schools. I did a couple schools in Jersey City, a couple schools in Newark. So in the last 2 years, we did 20 schools in New Jersey in the last 2 years. So everything that I'm doing for Progress, we're just looking to expand it, get more kids involved, get more schools involved, and, being able to show these kids like, hey, it's not only about football, it's about, getting a good education, taking advantage of opportunities, and, moving forward one day at a time. Forward Progress is what they're all about.
Okay, and then, but you also have expressed an interest that you would love to get into broadcasting, and that's something that you've dabbled in a little bit with the Giants, and you've done a couple of podcasts, you've done Giants Online, you've done, a couple of things, and is that something that you want to look into moving forward, that you want to be able to maybe explore a broadcasting career?
Yes, of course. I mean, given the opportunity to do it for the New York Giants was great. I did a training camp session. I did a post-game session. I did a Brunswick Channel 4 playoff session that I did with him. I've done countless number of podcasts and interviews. And, I feel like, Jim, you said it. I'm a handsome guy. That's your word, not mine.
Oh, no. That's your word, too.
I feel like it's an opportunity for me to, help get my face out there. And, I don't mind talking football. I like talking ball.
There you go.
Just, continuing, like I said, my legacy and, being able to do certain things. And another thing that I'm dabbling in is the CBD and hemp and, the cannabis industry.
Okay.
I've been dipping my toe in there. I have a company which I've started. I haven't yet started selling things quite yet. But, I'll keep it on a hush for now, just until I start getting things going. But that's an industry that I feel like has so many medicinal benefits and more importantly, so many different social benefits that the cannabis industry has been facing. That's not the right word that I'm using. There's so many different social. I want to find the right word.
Well, benefits. There are benefits that you get out of using the cannabis products that people think have a negative connotation. That they think it's only for people that want to get high and smoking pot is like the old stigma. Hey man, I'm just gonna hang out and get high. Well, they don't realize that it has a huge medicinal purpose, and especially has a medicinal purpose for people who have to deal with, chronic pain. I'm one of those. I'm all for exploring into the cannabis products, and I can't wait for medical marijuana to be legal in the state of New Jersey. So then, people like me that struggle every single day with pain can get a chance to relieve that pain through other means. So, CBD's got a major place in the mainstream by helping people that have regular pain problems. So you got your feet in the door, and it's going to be a major step moving forward. There are other people who have to deal with that.
Right. But the word I was looking for, Jim, was injustice.
Okay.
Social injustice. That people with these petty little marijuana crimes, or having under an ounce of marijuana, are doing years in prison.
Yeah.
Now that it's you can have your medical card in New Jersey now.
Right.
My medical card, and I can have an ounce of marijuana on me.
Right.
And nothing will happen to me. And now there's a lot of people making millions of dollars off of this plant. Excuse me. And when it was labeled as a drug, and these guys that had an ounce of marijuana or less on them are still in prison or still in jail, and that's the social injustice that I want to be a part of.
Okay.
Helping them, those type of guys.
All right. No, that's a good idea. There's no question, because it is an injustice that people are doing time for it's a misdemeanor at best, and it shouldn't be once they legalize it, because a lot of people have to be able to use that for pain relief, and I would be one of those in a heartbeat. So anyway, when you think about it, John, when you put your entire your life and your entire career in a nutshell, I mean, obviously you're still, like we said, very young at 32, but when you put it all together, boy, you were the classic underdog. You hear somebody who, didn't even play football until you got to high school, came from a humble background in Jersey City, and you were able to make it all the way to a major college, and started a major college, and played in the NFL, and won 2 Super Bowls, and and played in your hometown football team, and ended up being the defensive captain of your hometown football team. You got to say to yourself, boy, oh boy, I've been pretty fortunate, and hopefully that luck and that fortune keeps going in your direction.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm very blessed.
Right.
And that's the reason why I want to continue to bless these kids and bless kids that have similar backgrounds that I have, and being able to pass on my wisdom, my knowledge, my motivation to those kids as well.
Yeah. Well, I feel blessed to have known you and to have the chance to interview you many times during your career, and now especially to spend these 2 hours together here today, talking about your life and your career. And John, it's always great to talk to you, buddy, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. And please, we'll keep in touch, and hopefully we'll get to see each other in the gym real soon once this COVID goes away.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
All right, we will keep in touch, no question. All right, you take care, and thanks so very much for sharing it with me.
No doubt, man. Take it easy.
All right, you take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that was my special guest today, Jonathan Casillas, the former Giant linebacker, who had a great 2-time Super Bowl champion, Jonathan Casillas. And he was a great interview today. There's no question. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. And we will have future guests upcoming in the next couple of weeks. Once again, I'd like to thank my executive producer, Johnny Haig, my great nephew, who helped me put this all together. Without him, it would not be possible. And we'll be back next week with another Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm Jim Haig. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.